Welcome to smstechnopark.com course, Mobile Apps Development by using iOS and Swift Programming. Welcome back to Apple Mobile Apps Development by using iOS and Swift Programming course part 3. This part will cover why should we go for iOS apps development and some learning tips about mobile apps development. These learning tips are not only for the mobile apps development, and it is common for anything you start to learn. Let me come to the point. Apple iOS and Google's Android are operating system used primarily in mobile technology, such as smartphones and tablets. You can develop for Android on Windows, Mac OS and Linux machine. There are several IDE tools are available to develop Android apps. You need a Mac in order to develop for iOS. If you don't have a Mac, you will need to purchase one and you probably won't regret it. The default IDE choice is Xcode by Apple. Part of Xcode distribution is the iOS SDK and iOS simulator. For a long time, Xcode was the only IDE for iOS development. With these all factors, there are many articles arguing the benefits of iOS platform over the Android, with most focusing on points such as market share, usability, and device fragmentation. Very few only provide in-depth developer's perspective on the platforms. I have been in the IT industries around 25 years in the various domains and working with various technologies. I purchased my first Mac on 2012 to work with graphics, video editing and some other stuff. As you know that Mac is the best choice for multimedia works. Later on, I just started to develop small iPad apps by using Xcode with Objective-C. After a couple of weeks, I gave up because of the complexity of Objective-C. Objective-C is superset of C. Though I have strong background in C, I felt very uncomfortable to work with Objective-C and stopped to try further. In 2014 Apple Worldwide Developer Conference, Apple surprisingly introduced new object-oriented programming language Swift and said that this is the Objective-C without C. I started to look at the language and found it is very simple and easy. There is no main program, no semicolon, especially no pointers and so on. But it is very powerful object-oriented programming language. We will see more about the details in my basic Swift programming tutorial. After the introduction of Swift, number of Apple registered developers have been dramatically increasing. Let us see the brief summary of Worldwide Developer Conference 2016. As per Apple announcement in WWDC 2016 conference, 13 million registered developers so far, 2 million developers added in last 1 year. Attendees are from 74 countries and 72% are new ones. Out of 5,000 attendees, 120 attendees are less than 18 years of age and youngest is only 9 years of age. 8 years ago, when App Store was introduced, there was only 500 apps. Recently, it had crossed the milestone of 2 million apps in App Store, downloaded about 130 billion times. Apple has paid $50 billion directly to developers, making it the best mobile apps development partners. Irrespective of market research factors or data, iOS and Android are two of the most popular mobile platforms users today. This is the reason why you can see several applications specifically developed for these platforms only. The number of Android devices sold is greater than Apple devices running iOS. However, if you look at the revenue generated, Apple developers earn more revenue as Apple device users are ready to spend more to purchase apps from App Store. On the other hand, Android apps are mostly distributed free and the revenue generated through ads is not significant. Anyway, I preferred iOS apps development because it is simple, easy, and so fun. This is my personal opinion, and it is up to you to choose right platform for you. Now I am going to talk about some learning tips about the mobile apps development. Now you have chosen your platform and made a commitment. You are ready to start iOS programming. iOS programming is not so theoretical. It is more practical. If you want to learn this, you will have to be tactful with your approach. The best way I have found is to break the learning process into small parts and focus. This is what I am doing in this tutorial as well. Learn by doing. With every subject, the sooner you start playing with the code, the faster you will learn the given concept. If you want to learn the swimming in the textbook or articles or YouTube tutorials such as how to swim, which is not going to help you. Those are all basics to understand the concept. You must jump into the pool to learn swimming. Similarly, you can't learn programming just by reading or watching tutorials. You need to take action and write some code. If you are able to manage the basics, it will be much easier to understand the rest of the tutorials. Now I am going to talk about the bugs. Bugs are help you to improve your programming skills. It will hit time to time. I encourage you to attempt to figure out the solution by yourself first. You may have to look at the code again and again or search the web for solutions. Just try your best to solve the problem before asking to somebody. Don't copy and paste the code to sort it out the slightest problem. Again, code by hand. If you go for technical job interview, a critical component of the job interview process, you will have to code by hand, because not only is this good for learning, but it is universally known to be the ultimate test for developers' proficiency. Then ask help from others. The reality is that people learn faster with mentors and peer feedback. What may seem like an immovable bug or unmanageable topic could be quickly resolved by a fresh eyes or new interpretation of the subject. Whether it is online or in person, don't be afraid to ask help, because every programmer or developer has been in your shoes before. In conclusion, despite of all those tips, the most important ingredient is to learn programming faster is to remain confident. I will give you more tips in forthcoming chapters. In conclusion, keep calm, keep code, and keep on coding. Now I have finished up my startup introduction. Now we are going to learn basic of Xcode, Swift, and complete guide to develop real iOS apps. Are you ready to jump into the pool to learn swimming? You must be. See you all in the next part, Basics of Xcode IDE. Goodbye.